What is up, guys, and welcome back to part 36 of my F1 2016 career mode here at the Singapore Grand Prix. If you missed season 1 and of course the first 14 rounds of my second season, then you can go click the little card annotation in the top right hand corner of your screens to go catch up with everything that has happened over this career mode so far. We're here at the Singapore Grand Prix, which on F1 2015 was a really good race for me. I love the circuit, I love the layout of it, and yeah, it changed a little bit. Like the layout, okay, it changed a little bit, but that's not affecting me too much. I don't know what it is around this track. I just do not know how to really get good lap times around it. I really struggle around this circuit, which you saw in season 1 where I got down in like 19th position, which was a terrible race for us, especially on the back of like a 4th position from Italy in that season. So yeah, it was a really bad race in Singapore, but hopefully this time around we can do a little bit better. We aren't really set up too much for downforce and stuff like that, but we still got a really good package on the car, and hopefully we should get some really decent results. But we do have a little bit of research and development upgrade for us for today's race weekend, so we're going to head over to Chris and see what he has to say.
Okay, I've got something for you. The new parts have been fitted to the car. The simulation numbers are good, so look forward to your feedback. Check out the details.
So last time out at the Italian Grand Prix, we decided to finally fully upgrade the chassis weight on our car, the most expensive upgrade on the game that you could possibly do. And yeah, that pretty much ran our story. We have 400 resource points though still to spend, so hopefully we can get enough to upgrade. I want to upgrade the downforce, but I don't think I'm going to get enough resource points to do that. I think the best one I'm going to be able to do is upgrade the fuel efficiency on my car, and then we'll probably cease research and development. I'm not too sure yet at the moment. I would figure that out after the race, but let's see if this affects us in practice.
Welcome and good evening, race fans. The clock is ticking down to the start of today's practice session here at the Marina Bay Street Circuit, the setting for this weekend's Singapore Grand Prix.
So here we are in practice, just going through the track acclimatization at the moment, and we did just about manage to get a purple score on that one, which is really good. Lots of resource points, and hopefully that will help us on our way to upgrade the downforce on our car after today's race weekend. Then we went out, we did the tyre wear management in FP1 as well through the final corner now, and on this one we literally only just managed to get to that purple score, 80 out of 105. We got the points that we needed to do, and once again really help us in research and development, and hopefully we can get that downforce package. We still need to do the qualifying one, which unfortunately we could not do. That was the end of FP1. Unfortunately we could not do the qualifying one in either FP2 or FP3, and that put us right at the bottom of the field on a 1:45.917, which is really annoying. Not the best lap times, but like I said, I'm not exactly the best around it. Kimi Raikkonen also has a 5-place grid penalty, so that is pretty good for my championship battle with him. Hopefully I can qualify above him, and that puts him further down behind. But that is it for practice. Let's see how we do in the qualifying sessions. Just before we get into the qualifying sessions, we have a new rival to talk about. Well, I say new rival, we already had Kimi Raikkonen at the start of the season, but we're going to be battling with him once again. It's only right that he is my rival, as he is second in the Drivers' Championship, and he is the guy that we are fighting against to win the Drivers' World Championship at the moment. Even though the points gap, I think, is like 65 points against him. So I don't think he's going to be challenging unless he has a really good string of results. But Ferrari are really lacking behind in the performance upgrades at the moment. But let's see how we do against Kimi Raikkonen in the first qualifying session.
It's late in the evening here in Singapore and it's time for qualifying, so settle down and enjoy the action.
Here we are then in qualifying, and I usually say that we should be able to get out of Q1 and into Q2 very easily. I don't think it'll be as easy as it has been in the last couple of races, because our car is still good, but I'm not very good around the Singapore Grand Prix. So we just have to wait and see. We're going to head out on track, see what we can do in Q1, and hopefully it'll be good enough to get into Q2. Right then, out on track, just going through our first lap here in this qualifying session, down towards the line. What is the time good enough for? It's a 1:43.873. Not the best of lap times. That's probably about the same as what I was doing on F1 2015, which is not good at all. But we come around for our second lap, which is a whole 2 seconds faster, and that is more like it. 1:41.957. What were we worried about in this Singapore Grand Prix? That's a great lap time. Second place at the moment in the standings, and in the end in 4th, and that's good enough to get us into Q2. So very good lap around the circuit. Hopefully we can do a similar job to get into Q3 as we come around the final corner for our first lap here in Q2. Deciding to go out on the super soft tyres because we want to try and get the strategy on the rest of the guys. Our first lap was an awful one. It's a 150.1, But second lap, 6 seconds faster down towards the line, and it is a 1:43.7. Still a really, really bad lap. So we are going to have to probably go out on a set of ultra soft tyres, but we still have one more lap on these super softs. So far we are 6 tenths faster down towards the line. It's a 1:43.079, but it is still in the drop zone at the moment. That could push us even further down. So we are going to have to go out for a lap on the ultra soft tyres. We're in 14th at the moment, but coming across the line 1.5 seconds faster, and that is good enough to get us into Q2 and in 4th position as well with a 1:41.526. We could be on for a really, really good result in this qualifying session. But here we are in the top 10 shootout at the moment, coming around the final corner for our first lap in Q3, and it's a 1:42.415. Not the best laps. We know we can do better than that, and we know that we should be able to get into maybe the top 4. But here we are, second lap, 1/10 faster. Still not going to be much of an improvement. It's not enough to put us above Kimi Raikkonen. So at the moment, we're not doing good. We need to beat Kimi Raikkonen in qualifying. Otherwise, he is obviously going to get us in that one. But here we are, final lap in this qualifying session, I believe. Lap number 3, 5 tenths faster. And it is good enough. What is it good enough for? It's good enough for 4th position. A really decent result there in qualifying. Then 4th position in qualifying. I was not expecting that coming into the race weekend. Obviously, I said this before. We aren't particularly that good around this circuit. So 4th position here at the Singapore Grand Prix is a fantastic result. Jolyon Palmer getting 2nd place as well. Little bit disappointing to lose out to my teammate, but still 4th position, a great result at a track that I didn't really seem too competitive as, and hopefully we can push on from there and get really decent results. Danny Kvyat goes and gets pole position in Toro Rosso. Great result for him with Jolyon Palmer lining up alongside him in 2nd. On the 2nd row, it's Lewis Hamilton who lines up alongside myself with Nico Rosberg in 5th, Max Verstappen in 6th, Sebastian Vettel in 7th, Roman Grosjean 8th, Kimi Raikkonen down in 9th position, but remember he has a 5-place grid penalty as well, so that puts him down into 14th or 13th place, and Nico Hülkenberg, he rounds out the top 10. So pretty good result in qualifying in P4, and hopefully we can push on from there and get a really decent result in the race. And without any further ado, let's head over to the race for the Singapore Grand Prix.
Hello and welcome one and all to the shining streets of Singapore. Can you believe we've been coming here for nearly a decade now? It feels like only yesterday that Felipe Massa was dragging his fuel hose down the pit lane in that eventful opening race, and in a Grand Prix won from pole position more often than not. Will we see a new victor crowned today? Situated just 88 miles north of the equator, this 3.5-mile circuit is hot, it's humid, and is an incredible test for the drivers as they try to fight their cars around the bumps and in between the barriers. 23 corners take us twice over the bay to complete a single lap of this unique racetrack. The view is spectacular, the heat is unbearable. The race should be incredible. I won't be commentating alone today, of course. Nope, I have the honour to share this commentary box with none other than Anthony Davidson. And you and I were talking earlier today about how tight that midfield battle is compared to the last couple of years. Why do you think that is?
Well, I suppose the main reason is simply stability in the regulations. Look at what we had towards the end of the V8 era. In 2012, we had 7 winners in 7 races. And we talk about the dominance of Red Bull at that time, but their advantage was rarely more than 2 or 3 tenths of a second. And we've had this current formula now for a couple of years, and that serves to solve any teething troubles with reliability. Let's not forget that these cars are more technical than ever before, so it was always going to take a bit of time for those gaps to come down.
Okay, Jeff here. Can you hear me? We're not starting where we hoped, so you need to be aggressive today and push your way through the field.
It's race day here in Singapore, starting in 4th position on the grid. A great result in qualifying, something that I definitely was not expecting. So that's really decent. Hopefully you can push on from there, get a couple of overtakes, and possibly even challenge for a podium in this race. The one thing that we do not want to do is go backwards in this race, otherwise that would be really, really disappointing. Look at the race strategy for today. It looks like it's going to rain at the end of the race. So that meant I thought it's probably a better idea to go ultra softs and then super softs to the end, well, really till it starts raining, and then go to intermediates. Therefore, we miss out one pit stop and hopefully gain one on the other guys. So we decided to do that. Unfortunately, I accidentally added a stint in there, so that's why I've got 2 ultra softs at the end. But the main thing is that we're going to go ultra softs at the start, normal softs pretty much to the end of the race before the rain comes down. Then we go onto the ultra soft tyres. But here we are on the formation lap, just getting underway, just getting our car ready, warming up the tyres, warming up the brakes, and trying to make sure we get a really good start, which we are on now. So here we are on the grid with the lights coming on now. It's 5 red lights. Lights down, and away we go for the Singapore Grand Prix. It's a great start compared to our teammate Jolyon Palmer going up the inside, down in towards turn 1. Can we have a little look there? No, we don't. But Jolyon Palmer brake checks us into turn 1. Very, very lucky not to actually go into the back of our teammate and damage our front wing very, very early on in the race. Have a look at just in case we did damage it, but we didn't. And that is very, very decent indeed. We're on board with our teammate Jolyon Palmer, who's following behind Danny Kvyat at the moment, who did manage to retain the lead into turn 1. We're going down into turn 7 at the moment, side by side between the two drivers, but Jolyon Palmer has got the job done, and he has taken the lead of the Singapore Grand Prix. Great job for my teammate, although that should be me had he not squeezed me out in towards turn 1. I definitely would have got the job done on Lewis Hamilton. Not too sure about Danny Kvyat or Jolyon Palmer, but who would have known what would have happened there. But here we are on lap 5 at the moment. Lost the back end through the penultimate corner into the final double left-hander now. Sebastian Vettel right to my tail down in towards turn 1, following very, very closely. He's got the slipstream, he's got the DRS, pulling over to the left-hand side, and it looks like he's got the job done in towards turn 1. We try to get as close to him as we possibly can without actually touching the back of his car, but unfortunately we just aren't quick enough through the corners right now to keep up with the Ferrari driver, and losing the back end quite a lot there, and that's just really, really disappointing. We've now got Nico Rosberg right behind us, but here we are watching on board with Carlos Sainz at the moment, going down in towards the DRS straight on lap 6 at the moment. He's following behind a Haas driver of a Roman Grosjean, I believe that is. Oh, what was that? Something's gone wrong with his tyre. He's got a really weird puncture there on the right-hand side. Not too sure what has happened to that tyre. It's sort of like bent in on itself, whether that's just a puncture or something else has happened there. But Carlos Sainz is into the wall, and a safety car has been deployed in this Singapore Grand Prix. That's really, really good news for me, because that means that now I can come into the pit for a new set of soft tyres, and those tyres won't wear under the safety cars. Here we are coming into the pits under the safety car now. And yeah, the good news is that these soft tyres aren't going to wear under the safety car. We can save fuel as well, so I don't think we're going to have to worry about fuel anymore in this race. I don't think we're really going to have to worry about tyre wear too much either, so it's really, really going to help us in this strategy. Jolyon Palmer came in on the same lap, but we should be okay. No, we're not. The team were not ready for us to come into the pits. That's really, really annoying. That's lost me out to a Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel, I think that was anyway, and the Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo, I think that is in front of me, or it could be Max Verstappen, I'm not too sure. But that's really, really annoying that I've lost out to both of those drivers in the pit stop phase, as I definitely would have come out ahead of them had the team been ready for me. So that's really, really frustrating. But now, once the safety car goes in, we're going to have to really try and push and get in front of these guys. Which driver is it ahead of me? Is it Max Verstappen or is it Daniel Ricciardo? I think it's Max Verstappen, and yes, it is Max Verstappen. We're down in 19th position at the moment with only Roman Grosjean, I think a Sauber and Carlos Sainz behind us at the moment. But Max Verstappen ahead of us, Kimi Räikkönen ahead of him, and here we are on the safety car restart on lap 9. Danny Kvyat now in between us after he made a pit stop during the safety car phase. It's green and the race is underway once again, following behind Danny Kvyat through the penultimate corner, through the final corner, and unfortunately we just dropped off a little bit too much off the back of the Toro Rosso driver through that final corner, and that has allowed Danny Kvyat to get a good sort of gap to us, enough so that we couldn't actually get the job done down in towards turn 1 and into turn 3 there, having a little look as well as a cutback move, but unfortunately we run just a little bit too wide, and that stopped us going for the move on the Toro Rosso driver. Now we've run very, very wide on the exit of the final corner. That's now Sebastian Vettel up into P17. We've also lost out the position to Roman Grosjean as well, so they go side by side. There is no room for me to get past either of those guys. We tried to have a little look at cutback, but then Nico Rosberg very, very sneakily goes up the inside and takes the position away as well. So we've lost 3 positions in the space of 1 corner, which is really, really annoying. We get the job done up the inside of Nico Rosberg, but then he gets back at us through the exit and has a good drive. We have got Slipstream having a little nick there on his rear tyre as we try to squeeze back behind him to get the Slipstream. Diving it up the inside in towards this left-hander. Looks like we're just going to squeeze him out. There's a lot of sparks coming off there, but there we go, back up into P19, and now we'll be looking to try and get back past Roman Grosjean and Sebastian Vettel behind this huge train at the moment as we cut ahead to lap 12 in this race, right behind Roman Grosjean, who's currently in P18. We have DRS on the Haas driver. Can we do anything? I don't think we can. He's very, very quick in a straight line behind that Ferrari, but diving it up the inside in towards this next corner. Can we do anything? No, we can't. He's being held up by Sebastian Vettel, having a little look around the outside in towards this right-hander. And so Roman Grosjean gives us a little touch there with the tyres, but we still got the job done round the inside of this next corner. Have we got the job done? Yes, we have, up the inside, but Roman Grosjean having a little look up in towards the Singapore sling. Can he get the move done? No, he can't. Up the inside, he's still side by side into this very, very tight section just before the bridge. And there we go, up the inside, and finally gets in the position on Roman Grosjean and up into a measly 18th position in this race. But we have a lot of guys on different strategies ahead of us, so hopefully when those guys come into pits, we will get a lot of positions as well. So on board with Sebastian Vettel, trying to get past the Sauber of Felipe Nasr at the moment, going up the inside in towards turn 1. It's an easy move for the Sauber, but there we go, up the inside of Felipe Nasr at the moment. We just follow Sebastian Vettel through after making that move, and that's an easy move up the inside of Felipe Nasr up into P17 and following pretty much whatever Sebastian Vettel does, trying just to get through our field as quickly as we possibly can. So here we are on lap 13. Safety car has been deployed as well, and this was a really strange safety car. I went through all the replays as I usually do at the end of the race, and I could not find anything that happened in this race to bring out this second safety car. I do not know what happened. No driver had a puncture, because usually that sometimes happens if a driver has a puncture, like we saw with Carlos Sainz. But none of that happened at all. None of the drivers got a puncture. None of the drivers had a crash or anything like that. So I do not have a clue why the safety car came out, but it did, and that does help us with tyre wear again, because it means we can cool down the tyres, save them, and once all the other guys came into pits as well, we got to jump up into P4, and now we're right behind Kimi Räikkönen on the safety car restart, having a little look up the inside into the final corner, and it looks like we got the job done, but no, there's so much quicker in a straight line. Sergio Perez, literally out of nowhere, pushing Kimi Räikkönen down that straight, going round the outside into turn 1. He's side by side into turn 3 at the moment. Can he get the job done round the outside? I don't think he can. Sergio Perez still on the outside. There we go, so much quicker in a straight line, mainly because we did not have it in rich mix, so a big error from myself there not to put it in rich mix at the safety car restart. I lost out to both Kimi Räikkönen and Sergio Perez because of that. I could have been on a place for a podium at the moment, but unfortunately losing the back of Sergio Perez, not being able to get back at him, and a little bit disappointing to lose out like that. But now we're under pressure from a manner of all cars. Rio Haryanto right on my tail at the moment on lap 17, looking to get past. We do not have the best of exits out of the hairpin, going down in towards this tight right hander. Rio Haryanto around the outside. Can he make the move stick? Not quite at the moment, but we're going to squeeze him out as close to the wall as we possibly can. He's still on the left hand side in towards this right hand, in towards the chicane. He's still holding it around the outside, but he finally yields the position, and there we go, holding on to P5 for the time being. But here we are right on the back of Kimi Räikkönen once again. He actually has a problem with the car at the moment. Not too sure what's happened, but up the inside of Kimi Räikkönen, it's an easy move because of the problem that the Ferrari driver has. And there we are up into P3, I think, at the moment, after Jolyon Palmer came into the pits on that lap as well. Now hunting down the two Force Indias of Sergio Perez and Nico Hülkenberg. Can you believe it that the Force Indias are driving a 1-2 at the moment, with Rio Haryanto pushing to try and get a podium as well? If that could happen, that would be absolutely incredible in this race. Rio Haryanto on the right hand side, going down in towards turn 7 once again. Can we have a little look up the inside? We try up the inside, a little bit of a tyre bang between the two of us, still side by side in towards this right hander, but it looks like we're going to try a little bit of a cutback move. Can we get the drive on Rio Haryanto? I don't think we can. He's so much quicker out of the corners is the man of driving, unfortunately losing the position, having a little touch with the barrier there, and unfortunately losing the position to Rio Haryanto in that manner, which is really annoying to lose out to a manner of all cars and be down into P4 at the moment. But here we are with Jenson Button and Royal Tails. We go over the bridge in towards the hairpin here on lap 21. At the moment, as we lose the back end out of that corner, that allows Jenson Button to have a look up the inside in towards the next corner. We're going to brake a little bit early, try cutback move once again, and this time, compared to what we did with Rio Haryanto, executing it perfectly through that corner, side by side into this next chicane. Will he yield the position like Rio Haryanto did? Yes, he does. And there we are, holding on to P4 in this race, which hopefully will be P3 soon when Rio Haryanto comes into the pits. But it looks like Nico Hülkenberg has come into the pits, as we are now up into P3 anyway. We've got a huge train of cars right behind us, as it looks like the rain is starting to come down. So as you can see, just a few little streaks on the car at the moment, and one lap later we decided it was a little bit too much for us. We come around the final corner and decide it is time to come into the pits for a new set of intermediate tyres. It's like there's a manner of Pascal Wehrlein following us into the pits as well. Will he be coming in for a set of intermediates, or will he be making a stupid decision to go in on a new set of dry tyres? There we are, getting the intermediate tyres on. It's a quick pit stop for the Renault team compared to our last one. And looks like Pascal Wehrlein, I think, actually went on to... Yes, he is. He's on the ultra soft tyres. That is a terrible decision there for the Manor driver. You could have waited maybe another lap and gone onto the intermediate tyres, maybe another 2 laps. It looks like Kimi Räikkönen is coming down the start-finish straight now. We need to get out ahead of him, which we have not done in this race. Kimi Räikkönen going around the outside of us as we come out the pit lane. Unfortunately, he has got the position on us right now, as we are now currently in P19 at the moment on lap 24. So we run it very, very wide on turn 5, and that's going to allow Pascal Wehrlein to have a good run on us down this straight. He's got on the better tyres at the moment, otherwise, because of course the intermediate tyres aren't quite good enough on this wet surface, and it's an easy move there for Pascal Wehrlein to move up into P19. We're down to P20. Only Felipe Nasr is behind us in this race, but we cut ahead to the end of lap 24, and now it's definitely time for the intermediate tyres. Pascal Wehrlein coming to the pits, a couple of other drivers into the pits at the moment as well. We need to make sure that we get out in front of all of these guys. Nico Rosberg just ahead of us, running it very, very wide into turn 1 there, side by side with Felipe Massa. We should probably give that position back to the Williams driver. Oh no, we can't, because he actually had an engine failure. His engine has gone pop in this race on lap 25 of the Singapore Grand Prix. He is out of the race, and that's kind of good news for us, as that means we don't actually have to give the position back to him and lose time to everybody else on the circuit. So kind of a good news for us. A bit lucky there that Felipe Massa, his engine went right then. Otherwise, you know, that means we don't lose time, so it's really, really good. It looks like a lot of other guys coming into the pits 1 lap later. Some of the guys missed the actual the jump to come in for the intermediate tyres. And that is all the guys that are coming into pits now. So we're going to jump up back into the points. But whereabouts are we going to come out? Running it wide into turn 1 once again, but not as bad as we did last time. Trying a cutback move on Esteban Gutierrez. This time trying to get a good drive out of the corner, which we do. And down in towards turn 5. Easy move on Esteban Gutierrez, and we move up into P7, but now right behind Valtteri Bottas, trying to challenge for P6 in this race. Can we get the job done down in towards turn 7, following the slipstream of the Williams driver? Under braking, can we do it? Yes, we can. Side by side in towards this left-hander, squeezing him out on the exit. There's just about enough room for the Williams driver, but he does yield position, and we are up into P6, which should be P5 later on in the race, because Romain Grosjean actually hasn't pitted for a set of intermediate tyres yet. And here we are on lap 29, on board with Jolyon Palmer, going down into the hairpin. And what is going to go on here? No, he's had an engine failure. Jolyon Palmer is out of this Singapore Grand Prix. It's not a good day for Renault. They were 2-4 on the grid for the start of the race. Now Jolyon Palmer is out, and I am only running in a not very good P5 after where we started. I mean, we've only dropped down 1 position, but here we are on the final lap of the Singapore Grand Prix, going down in towards turn 1, running it very, very wide. That's going to allow Valtteri Bottas to have a little look in towards turn 3, maybe. He's right to my tail at the moment. He could possibly have a look down in towards turn 7, of course, on the DRS straight. DRS is not activated, but he will still have the slipstream and have a good straight line speed compared to us, going down in towards turn 5 at the moment. And he's still very much right on our tail, right to our gearbox at the moment, using the slipstream, moving over to the left-hand side, no, switching back to the right-hand side, and there we go, Valtteri Bottas, job done, down in towards turn 7. Surely he's got the job done. No, he hasn't. He's locked up into the corner, just missing the barrier, coming back onto the track, crashes with a Haas driver, goes into the wall. There is a huge pile-up on the final lap of this Singapore Grand Prix. Do not know what on earth Valtteri Bottas was thinking. So many cars getting caught up in that. That means it should be fairly easy for us to hold on to this P5 to the end of the race. We only have a Toro Rosso of, I think, Danny Kvyat behind us at the moment. Of course, yeah, it is Danny Kvyat, because Carlos Sainz got disqualified earlier on in the race because of that punch on his tyre. But yeah, Danny Kvyat right our tail at the moment. We're doing a solid job in P5. Not on earth, not sure what happened in that corner. Valtteri Bottas, he just sort of ran wide, hit the Haas of Romain Grosjean, came back on the track, hit someone else, and then everyone just went spinning on the track. But nevertheless, Sergio Perez is going to come around the final corner now to win his first ever race in Formula 1. Who would have thought it? A Force India winning the Singapore Grand Prix, especially with the research and development that they have been doing on their car. It's not exactly that impressive. Sebastian Vettel comes around the final corner now. He would take home 2nd place. A good job for him, and it looks like who's going to come home in 3rd. It was a battle between Max Verstappen and Nico Rosberg. It looks like Max Verstappen has got it at the end of the day, just about beating Nico Rosberg to the end of the race. And here we are coming around the last couple of corners now. It looks like we've got another train of cars right behind us. 3 guys catching up to us after that incident. Round the final corner, just not getting the best of the lines there, but I don't think that Danny Kvyat is going to be able to get the move on us into the final corner now. It's not been the best of races for us, but it is still going to be a great P5 in this Singapore Grand Prix. A really, really good result for us on Ultimate AI, of course. And I'm pretty happy with that, starting in 4th and getting 5th position at a track that I'm not exactly the strongest at, especially when I had so many guys right behind me.
A great win then for the Force India team today. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
I can see them on their way out to the podium now. Force India have really come a long, long way in this sport. And what a special race this was to see them earn that top spot.
So a decent result for myself there at the Singapore Grand Prix. A great P5, and hopefully that'll be a good amount of points in the championship. Of course, Kimi Räikkönen did not score any points either, so that is 10 points gained on him in the championship, and this championship is definitely mine to lose at the moment. But let's go through the standings. Sergio Perez gets a race win in this Singapore Grand Prix from 12th on the grid as well. Great result. He got helped out massively by getting past me and me holding up a load of guys behind us. And then Sebastian Vettel, he finished in second with Max Verstappen rounding out the podium. Nico Rosberg is in 4th, myself in 5th, Danny Kvyat in 6th, Jenson Button 7th, Lewis Hamilton in 8th, Valtteri Bottas 9th, and Roman Grosjean getting the final championship point. Let's just confirm how this affects us in the drivers' standings. And we are still in the lead, obviously, but we are now 75 points clear of Kimi Räikkönen. We have such a huge gap over Kimi Räikkönen that Sebastian Vettel is more in the frame of winning this championship than Kimi Räikkönen is at the moment. Sebastian Vettel's had a good recent amount of results, whereas Kimi Räikkönen has been doing absolutely dreadful in this season. So we're doing a really, really good job. P1 at the moment, and this is definitely our championship to lose. We need to make sure that we get good results and do not let this slip. Let's have a look at how it affects us in the constructors' standings, though. And in the constructors' standings, Renault is still in the lead of that one, but the gap is only 19 points at the moment after Sebastian Vettel got a better result than us and Jolyon Palmer not finishing in today's race. So the gap is 19 points, but it's still a comfortable lead at the moment. We've got a lot of races left to go, so there is still a chance to extend that lead, or, you know, at least sort of maintain it at 19 points or around there. Still just hold on to the lead of the Constructors' Championship. But that is it for today's Singapore Grand Prix. Let's head back to the menus. Right then, taking a look at the first rivalry update between the two of us after this Singapore Grand Prix. And I pretty much demolished Kimi Räikkönen. He actually got a penalty on that weekend, so he does not get one for that. But 12-5 at the moment is a really, really good result between the two of us, and I'll be hoping to carry that on throughout the rest of the season. 909 resource points at the moment. It's not enough to upgrade the downforce on our cars. So we're going to go ahead, upgrade the fuel efficiency, and then cease research and development. I would have really liked to fully max out the car, but looking at the amount of races I left, I don't think I'm going to be able to get enough to get all the resource points needed to fully upgrade the car, which is really, really annoying. But still, you know, we're going to upgrade the fuel efficiency, which is going to help us in track like Malaysia, which is up next, because it means we can run in rich mix for a lot longer. So we're very, very happy with that, and we're going to cease research and development and hopefully get a lot more resource points if we stay with Renault next season, because we obviously do not know what contract offers we're going to be getting at the end of the season. But that is it for today's Singapore Grand Prix. If you have enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash that like button. Also, subscribe to my channel if you are new around. We're going to have this career mode coming to you every single day for the whole of Season 2. So, of course, if you are subscribed to me, then you never have to miss an episode at all. But that is it for today's race. I will see you next time at the Malaysian Grand Prix. But until then, it's goodbye from me.